Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Pup. We are back for the quarterfinals of the LPDL LiliPup Draft League. Today we're facing off against App Router, Adam, and their Mashni Park Slowpokes. It's a very, very scary matchup. We got the 4 seed, but I didn't get to choose who I was going to play. I just got whoever everyone else didn't want to play, and obviously they did not want to play the Meryl team, which I don't blame them because it's very, very scary, and I don't have great ways to stop that Pokemon, so it's going to be a tough matchup for sure. Looking at their team, they have that Meryl, but super scary Belly Drum. Choice Band I don't think is as good, but Belly Drum is really solid, or just any other variant. Yanma is really strong into my team. Maybe not like the best Pokemon for sure, but it's faster than everything on my team. Has speed boost anyways, so it doesn't really need to care. And it has decent coverage for my squad. I also have Scorbunny, which has great coverage for a lot of Pokemon on my team, especially because I'm not bringing in Eviolite Shellos to be able to deal with that. They also have Alolan Sandshrew, which I think is pretty solid in this matchup. It takes hits from my Meowth, which is really one of my bigger threats for their team, since I don't have any fighting or fire type moves available for that Pokemon, so that kind of sucks. I also have a Gibble. If they made this thing their Terra Captain, that would have been crazy, but you know, Sword Stance Scale Shot looks absolutely nutty. They can also just bring defensive and switch into like Meowth, get the rough skin damage, and it puts me in a tough position. Just a nice defensive Pokemon. They can also set up hazards, which I really don't like to see. I also have their mascot in the Slowpoke. I don't think it's that great here, but it can be scary. Like, I didn't prep very well for it depending on my team. But it can be annoying, like Thunder Wave. It has great coverage, you know, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, all that sort of stuff that can make it annoying. Another really annoying Pokemon is their Terra Captain Krogunk. This has dry skin, so I can't hit it with any water type moves, which I have 2 Scarfed water types off my squad because they're really good here, except for into those scenarios. I really think they're going to be Terra Dark, because if not, Gothita looks really, really strong here. Where I can just like basically trap everything on their team, and they don't have great ways around it, maybe like the Yanma or anything like that, but they would not love it if I you know, if they don't have that dark type. They also have a Poltergeist on their squad. I don't think this Pokemon should come. I don't think it's too great. I have a couple Pokemon that can deal with it, namely like the Volbeat that can usually just like switch in if I'm running like a more maybe not like defensive, but like a Roost Prankster set, then I can always just like heal up any damage they would want to do to me. So I don't see that Pokemon coming, but I am a little bit worried about Deerling. It's very fast. I mean, I do have a couple Pokemon that outrun it, but it is pretty fast, and it's annoying with Serene Grace, Headbutt, and it can also click T-Wave and just be really annoying. So if they lean into that Haxie side, I think they have a solid matchup. They also have a Spoink, which I don't see coming, but you know, it could probably do a couple things if it comes. I just don't respect that as a Pokemon for sure. But looking at the team that I brought this week, first of all, we're going to start off with our Volbeat, our LC Uber. It's pretty solid in this matchup for sure. I have Ice Punch that destroys Gibble. U-Turn is just solid versus most of the Pokemon on their team. Brick Break hits the Alolan Sandshrew. It also hits the Deerling. It hits like a Terra Dark Krogunk, importantly. And then we have Thunder Punch, which hits a Meryl. It hits the Yanma. Hits solid Pokemon on their team. If we, you know, can't click anything else, I can click the Scorbunny or whatever. So very, very solid. With the Expert Belt, we do guarantee OHKOs on stuff like the Gibble, on the Alolan Sandshrew, which is really, really important in this game. And I also, you know, pretty easily deal with the Poltergeist. So I should be in a pretty solid spot. I put Swarm because we don't need Pranksters, so I can potentially get some extra damage on those U-turns. We also have our Meowth here, another mixed variant. Looks very solid in this week. Fake Out plus Feint is able to destroy a lot of the stuff on their team. It's my premier way to deal with the Yanma, although taking Recoil over and over is going to be a little bit annoying. But Technician Icy Wind absolutely destroys that Gibble. I have a little bit of Spatak investment just to make sure that always KOs. We have Knockoff, which is really good for the Poltergeist, so they cannot switch into me. It's also just a nice middle ground click into anything on their team. We also have a Choice Scarf Shellos, and this is my premier answer to the Meryl. If they, you know, they can't Aqua Jet me, you know, so if they are clicking Belly Drum, they get up to +6. I'm always going to outrun them because I'm Choice Scarf. I can click Sludge, and if they are that Belly Drum set, even if they get the HP back from like an Oranberry, I always knock them out with Sludge. I don't have like Sludge Bomb or anything like that, so we're just dealing with 65 base power Sludge. And then later in the game, honestly, Ice Beam is really solid. Hitting like the Yanma, hitting the Deerling, the Poltergeist, the Gibble. Earth Power is really good. Hitting the Krogunk without Terra, hitting the Sandshrew, hitting the Score Bunny. I mean, they're all really solid clicks. Maybe if the Krogunk's down, I can even just spam Hydro Pump versus their entire team. So a really good option here. You know, so if they're like banded on the Marill, I can always switch into the water moves. If they just call me trying to click a play rough, I always should live a play rough on switch in, or maybe it's like very much in my favor. I think maybe like a 1 in 16 roll for them to actually knock me out. So I get that, you know, aggressive play one time into them. I also have my Toadstool here trying to get some spikes up. I think that'll make my life a lot easier if I'm able to get 1 or 2 up. But you know, we'll see what happens with this guy. It's also nice if I can knock off Eviolites on their squad. And this Pokemon is, I mean, it's kind of there to deal with the Krogunk a little bit. I can deal with that. I feel like it really doesn't want to take an Earth Power, even no matter what Terra it wants to be. So I can deal with that. They might have Ice Punch or anything like that. But I can deal with that. I can get at my spikes. I can deal with potentially like the Gibble if they're not like the setup variant. I can deal with a couple things very like loosely, very softly. But if I'm able to get a spike up, then I feel a lot stronger in this game. Earth Power plus Sludge Bomb is basically our coverage, making sure that I can hit basically everything on their team. Then we have an Eviolite Bronzor, very defensive, so I can always potentially eat some hits from like Marill if they're not going to be, you know, the Belly Drum variant, or if they're like Choice Band and they're trying to predict me, I can always go in on play roughs. Stealth Rocks look really, really solid in this game. You know, trying to get 50% on Yanma, get a bunch of damage on Score Bunny, everything like that would be super great. And we also have Ice Spinner, which hits the Gibble and absolutely demolishes it. It also hits the Deerling and Poltergeist, and then Earthquake hits everything else. Well, I guess Ice Spinner for the Yanma as well. And then Reflect as our last move. I wasn't quite sure what to put on here, but I think Reflect can help us most in this game when I'm super worried about that Marill. And last but not least is a Scarf Special Dewpider. Looks really, really strong. Surf destroys everything on their team besides the Krogunk that is actually immune to it. I mean, maybe like Deerling and stuff. But it's really strong. I mean, I have a decent speed tier versus a lot of Pokemon on their team. Giga Drain is really strong into that Marill, making sure that, you know, even if they hit me with like a +6 Aqua Jet or something, I can take that, get a ton of health back, and then hit, you know, live another one. I also have Ice Beam, which hits the Yanma very strong, hits the Deerling, Poltergeist, and the Gibble, like we've talked about, with all the other ice coverage on 5 members of my team. But yeah, we are Choice Scarf on this Pokemon, so we outspeed everything besides the Yanma, I think, with our speed, just because it's a little bit annoying. I didn't think that webs were super solid in this matchup. I mean, they're probably going to run some heavy duty boots. Marill doesn't care about its speed, all that sort of stuff. So I didn't worry about that. We'll see if that bites me in the butt. But yeah, that's going to be my team. Hopefully we're going to be able to move on to the semifinals, you know, but we'll see what App Router has in store for us. Let's get straight to the game. Okay, everyone, we are here against Adam App Router. They brought Terra Electric Krogunk, which is not what I expected. They also did not bring the Slowpoke, and they did not bring the Sandshrew. That's actually not what I expected for sure. So there are some options here. What is their lead into my potential webs? Maybe they don't care very much about the webs. Maybe they do. Who knows? I do like the Shellos lead potentially, because if they do lead with Score Bunny, it, you know, gives me an opportunity to go ahead and just click Earth Power versus them, which will knock them out if they're not Eviolite. It also means that they can't switch out into the Krogunk. I do hate to see the Poltergeist there. It's just not great for what I brought. I do have like knockoff on the Meowth. I'm also surprised to see no Gibble, but it looks, I mean, it makes my team look a little bit better, I think. So I'm going to lead with one of my Choice Scarf Pokemon. Is it going to be the Shellos? I mean, do I even have to? I definitely do not. I could just lead with Meowth straight up off the bat, because it does look solid. What do I do here? It's a little bit tough. I'm worried about a Score Bunny lead for sure. Okay, I think we're going to go with the Dewpider. I know it might be, you know, very, very easy to guess that I would do that, but I'm just going to go for it. And if they lead with a Score Bunny, I might just click Hydro versus them. I also have Surf that I can click.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm definitely a little bit nervous, but you know, I hope that we can do some good work. They are going to lead with a Meryl, so the wrong choice for sure, but I think it still works, right? They can't be Eviolite on this guy. A Giga Drain does so much damage. A Surf also should Tuco. I think I just Giga though. I think I just straight up Giga for sure. And they can't one-shot me with anything, I don't think. Yeah, we do over 50% on turn 1, which is great. They're going to eat their Orin, which is what I expected. Do we see them just attack, or do they belly drum? No, they Trailblaze. Okay, they do 7 damage with the Trailblaze. Now they're at +1. It depends on what kind of speed they are. Trailblaze. They did 8 damage, by the way. They are huge power. And they're max attack for sure. I mean, it could be Adamant, right? It could be. How much does Play Rough do? Play Rough absolutely destroys my Dupiter. I cannot let them get off a hit though, right? They're +1 speed. That's so scary. I think I just am forced to stay in and click Giga Drain, give up my Dupiter early. I don't want to do that. I think they have some HP invest though, so I think we're going to outrun them. No, we don't. That is bad. So potentially Jolly, which means that my Shellos would be slower than this guy. I might just straight up lose off the bat, right? I mean, I get to go out to my Meowth, and I just get to click Fake Out into Faint. We know they're not Covert Cloak. I just click Fake Out here. Protect would be a tough move for them to have. They're not. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Fake Out into Faint knocks them out, which is great. We lost my Dupiter, but this Pokemon's basically out of commission, which is great for me. I Faint, which goes over their hits, but they do swap. To go out to the Poltergeist, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. If they're probably going to be Eviolite here, and they might hit me pretty hard, but a knockoff might just straight up knock them out. So I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to attack what's in front of me here. I'm not 100% sure what this wants to click into me. Maybe like a Leaf Storm sort of thing. They could be Choice Scarf. They are. Energy Ball. They do not knock me out. That's great. We knock off that Scarf and it's dead. So getting that thing out of the way is great for my Choice Scarf Pokemon in the back. There's one of their Scarfers. They might have another one. My Meowth is at 1 HP. But we'll take it. Maybe I should have thought about Choice Scarf a little bit sooner. But we did what we needed to do there. I'm definitely happy about getting that done. And I'm still worried. I mean, the Meryl's still in the back. It's not as big of a threat. They send out Bubby, which is the Krogunk. This thing can potentially be like Vacuum Wave or Upper Hand. Terra Electric, which is super odd in my opinion. I mean, I can go out to potentially my Beldum, right? Or my Bronzor, sorry. Krogunk, I mean, it can click Knockoff versus me, right? Krogunk, Knock. I mean, it's not going to 2-hit KO me. It's not. And then I can threaten it with an Earthquake. Maybe even just click Reflect versus them is nice as well. But Earthquake does so much. They can't be Eviolite. As they're going to double. It's a good play. They're going to bring back in the huge power Pokemon. That's fine. If they Trailblaze here, it's really bad, though, on my swap. Can I move this ruler a little bit? Put it back in the right spot. This is definitely scary here, right? How much do I do to this Meryl? They're level 5. An Earthquake, it looks like it should take him out. It really does. So I'm going to go for it. We do have the feint in the back if I need it, as they're going to knock me off. That's a lot of damage. It gets rid of my Eviolite. But we should knock this guy out in exchange. We do. Perfect. I have the potential to set up a reflect or my rocks, but Meryl out of the way is really nice. I'm basically down with 3 Mons, but Meowth can still do some work. It can still click like a feint or a fake out. A Volbeat hopefully can do some work. I'm hoping the Shellos can too. I need to get damage on the Krogunk, but them being Terra Electric is great for me to be able to spam Earth Power. Or not spam it, but click it a little bit easier. But I'm not loving my chances at this point. They bring in the Score Bunny. I mean, do I just preserve this Pokemon and go out to my Shellos? That's what I'm expecting is the best play here, right? If they click Flare Blitz... I don't know, because the issue is if they Trailblaze here, right? It puts me in a terrible, terrible position. Whereas if I Ice Spinner to call that, it puts me in a great spot. I think I will call their over-aggressive play as they U-turn. Okay. We should live this. Yeah, they do 7. 7 to my no Eviolite Bronzor with a U-turn. They are Libero. U-turn. Let me calc this damage. Awesome. We get the Yanma as well, which is great. But 7 is what we expect. No craziness. We do 50 to Yanma, which is awesome. That is also mostly what we expect. Yeah, we expected to do just 50. I think I Stealth Rock on this turn, I think is the best play. They're just going to Bug Buzz and take me out. 07s to that guy. I'm glad I made the prediction. But this Pokemon is very, very scary for me to deal with, right? Bug Buzz. I'm assuming they're going to be like modest. They could be Choice Specs. What was that? Throat Spray? They're +1. Is that what that was? I mean, what? Meowth can come in and maybe click Feint and take them out? I'm assuming they're going to be Protect, right? I mean, I go Meowth for sure. And I try to click Fake Out. I think that's the best play. If they're Protect, then I just Feint them the next turn. I would die to my Life Orb anyways. I just need to get them in a position where they're not allowed to get the speed boost or the special attack boost, as they do with Drop. So Meowth is going to go down, but we're going to get some good chip on... What is this? It's a Score Bunny. Yeah, I mean, this guy is going to take a ton. No, they're not, because they are the Eviolite variant. They are Eviolite. Okay, that's good to know. I can go out to Toads, or no, I have to go to Shellos here, right? It has to be Shellos. Earth Power should be able to knock them out, but then it gives away that I'm Scarfed. Ooh, man. I have to Earth Power, right? Maybe they go Krogunk on this here. I think they probably clicked U-turn. So we take out the Score Bunny, but I'm not sure if that's great for me. We do crit them. That shouldn't have mattered. What are they going? I mean, it's got to be Yanma, right? They're going to go Yanma. I have to sack something. Yanma at, you know, max modest. With the Bug Buzz. How much do they do to my Toedscool? I mean, they don't knock it out in one shot. Ever. Sludge Bomb doesn't look like it knocks them out either. Do they knock out my Volbeat with a Air Slash? Most of the time, yes, if they're modest. If you are timid, then no. And I definitely knock them out afterwards. They have the Deerling and this left. Scarf Ice Beam looks really great now. Oh, man. I have to sack off my Toad School. I think I'm going to lose this game very closely. It really depends. I mean, they can miss an Air Slash versus me. They do Air Slash this turn. They just Oko my Toad School on a crit. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I can go out to Shellos here, right? Giga Drain versus my Shellos. It actually never knocks me out. I always knock them out with Ice Beam. Is that my best play? Honestly, it might be. Scarf Ice Beam looks really, really strong here. I'm just going to go for it here. If we see Giga Drain, we should knock them out afterwards based on the rolls. I mean, it'll be close for sure. They're going to Bug Buzz. Wow. So they also get like a minimum roll on that, which is great. And we're going to knock them out. So we have the potential. We do still have potential. It's so many 50-50s here though, right? Is this a Deerling Choice Scarf? They're going to go out to the Krogunk. This thing also just might be Choice Scarf, right? But Ice Beam should do a lot to it, potentially putting it in range. So I'm going to click Ice Beam. We might see Choice Scarf come out. They might be Choice Scarf on their Terra Electric. If they are, we might be cooked. They are going to just straight up Terra. We should do about 50% with an Ice Beam if we can get it off here. And that's to some decent bulk investment. So they would have to be like max speed on this guy. No, they're not Choice Scarf. That's great. We get 50%. They're going to Terra Blast Electric. That's going to take me out. And it's going to be Volbeat versus the world. A U-turn might be able to take them out now. A U-turn probably should. I doubt they're going to have so much physical defensive bulk. And then it comes down to me versus the Deerling. If the Deerling is Choice Scarfed, they might be able to beat me. Oh, I don't know. I just click U-turn here. Get off as much damage as possible. If they put me into Swarm, actually, I think I would just Oko the Deerling. They're going to Sucker. They don't do very much. All right, let's see. If the Deerling is Eviolite, then it's a roll to knock them out. I don't think they ever knock me out, but they can T-Wave plus Headbutt into me. But if they ever put me in range of Swarm, then they die. And if they're Choice Scarf, then they have to get lucky. Let's click U-turn. Come on. Are you Scarf? Are you Eviolite? They're not Choice Scarf. They live on Warn as they Trailblaze. Okay. Okay. They were Eviolite. Headbutt does not knock me out on this turn. Do they get the 50% or the 60% flinch to end my season? They do. Good game. That's my season off of a flinch. On 1 HP. It is what it is. See ya.